I used to believe that a nature journal had to follow a specific formula, a perfect blend of the observations of a scientist and the sketches of an artist. But after years of creative journaling, I've come to learn that, in my own unique way, I've been nature journaling all along. My journal often features photos and drawings of the natural beauty I encounter every day, interwoven with the memories and experiences of my life. So today, I want to share with you how I bring nature into my journal and give you some tools and tips and ideas for how you can do the same. And in the process, you may just discover that your journal is not only a place to document nature, but a way to appreciate it even more. While you may find it easier to get outside on a beautiful day like this compared to this, ultimately, in order to journal about nature, we have to get outside in every season. Because this is how we learn to appreciate nature in all its forms. And while romanticizing the seasons might look a little different depending on where you live, it's ultimately just about finding joy in the little things. Here in the US, fall is just around the corner, and there are so many little things to appreciate about this season. I'll be paying close attention to the changing weather, the beautiful leaves as they take on those golden hues, and be thinking about ways that my husband and I can get outdoors even more, whether that's crunching through the leaves on a hike or picking some apples from a tree. And before we know it, we will be deep into the slumber of winter, when most want to hibernate. But this is actually one of the best times to get out and play. Some of my favorite entries document the beauty and stillness of nature in winter. Whether we are climbing a snowy peak or enjoying a winter walk, there is a real magic to the winter time, and you'll miss it if you don't get out there and make the most of the time you've been given. Because spring and summer are sure to follow, and the earth will laugh in flowers again, and the birds will sing, and you will find the little joys of nature all around you. Each new season is an opportunity to practice the art of noticing. Pay attention to the shapes of clouds, the hues of a sunset, and the smell of flowers. Look for wildlife and ask, why does the moose spend its time in a bog? Why does the horseshoe clam spit water? Be curious about the world around you and write down your observations. The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady is a great example of how to do this well. This nature journal was written in the early 1900s by a woman named Edith Holden, and it is a true masterclass in the art of noticing. I highly recommend it as a source of inspiration. Another source of inspiration is this Tiny Little Pleasures book. It has so many examples that I often actually use in my own journaling to help me capture the beauty of nature. If you are someone who sometimes struggles to appreciate the little things, this can be a great way to encourage you as you work towards a heart of gratitude. If you need a little more help, the Wildflower Workbook by Katie Daisy is another great resource that will provide prompts and inspiration to help you notice more when you are out and also appreciate all the little things. As you start to embrace this habit, you can think about questions to ask yourself. For example, what was the weather like on this day? Was it raining? If so, how long did it rain and how much? Or was it cold enough to snow? Was it light or heavy? Did it accumulate to any significant amount? Or think about flowers. Where are they growing and when? Are they close by a water source? Are they in your neighbor's yard? What about the wildlife? Did you see a fox for the first time or a snowy owl? Store up these experiences like treasures in your journal. Include a photo or illustration of what you saw and write down the common name or even scientific name. Maybe even add some details about the distribution or describe what you saw. Include some quick facts that you learn on the web or from a book. And when possible, write about the experience in long form. What were you doing and where were you when you experienced this in nature? What was it like? And how has it changed you? Because when we journal about these experiences, they help us to understand that there is something to appreciate in every season, and they inspire us to go out and look for more. Although you don't have to be a talented artist in order to journal about the natural world, I do believe that a little bit of creativity can really bring the nature to life on the page. So if that is something that you're interested in doing, but feel like you need to up your skills in order to do it well, I want to introduce you to today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community that gives you access to thousands of hands-on courses to explore your creativity. And there are so many categories to choose from photography, graphic design, and music, to cooking, business, and marketing. Whether you want to learn a new hobby or level up a skill for a creative career, Skillshare has tons of options to choose from. Currently, I'm taking a class called Watercolor in the Woods by Rosalie Hazlett, and I am loving this class. Not only the way that she brings us out into nature, but also teaches really practical advice about how to take reference photos and study the thing that you want to be painting, and then mix your colors and actually work step by step to bring it to life on the page. I am learning so much, and I want to invite you to take this class along with me. Skillshare has made it so easy for you to join me because the first 500 people to use my link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So you can join me and take Watercolor in the Woods. And with this trial, you'll also get access to all of the other classes available on Skillshare, taught by real artists and entrepreneurs. I can't recommend it enough, and the link is down below. While I am grateful for classes like Rosalie's on Skillshare to help us learn techniques and practices that will help us feel more comfortable in exploring our creativity, the beauty of nature journaling is that you can start at any skill level. For me, the arts and creative aspects of my journaling have looked different over the years. Sometimes I embrace more of a quick doodle style. Other times I use brush lettering and quotes as an artistic form. I like to play with different mediums, like metallic watercolors or acrylics, and try to do more abstract paintings to represent the weather or the sunrise or sunset that I saw that day. Occasionally, I see wildlife that I'm not quick enough to capture in a photo, so I try to draw it instead. I use colored pencils or watercolor and do my best to represent what I saw out in nature. I often look up a reference photo on the internet and then just start creating. It may not be perfect, but sometimes the imperfections are what make it a special representation of my experience in nature. In today's modern world, it is easier than ever to document nature. With the simple click of a button, we can capture exactly what we see. And the amazing thing is, you don't need special equipment. More often than not, I find myself taking the majority of my nature photos with my iPhone. But there are occasions when I'm taking wildlife photography, especially, that I need the zoom lens of my DSLR. If you're not someone who typically edits your photos, I encourage you to give it a try. You might be surprised by the magic that happens by just simply changing the vibrancy, contrast, or clarity of the photo you've taken. Another thing I like to do is make collages of my photos, especially when I'm trying to fit multiple photos on one page. For that, I use an app called Pic Collage. And finally, the quality of your printer and the photo paper you're printing on really can make a big difference. I personally have an Epson EcoTank 8500. The print quality is great, but it does have a higher price point. If you're just starting out, I recommend a cheaper photo printer like a Canon Selfie, or just getting your photos printed locally. But as I said, the camera and printer will only get you so far. Photography is a skill, especially nature photography. It will take practice, and it also requires a lot of patience. If you are interested in improving your photography skills, I recommend checking out some of the nature photography classes on Skillshare. And of course, the beauty of nature journaling is that it's not just about the photo and the moment in time that you've captured, but how you bring it to life on the page. Whether you're creating a collage, cutting out a focal point of your photo, or creating an interesting layout, there are so many different ways to use photos to bring nature to your journal. One of my favorite ways to bring nature into my journal is by collecting different stickers and ephemera that represent the seasons, wildlife, anything that has to do with the natural world around us. The more that you journal, the more you will find yourself holding on to little paper scraps and stickers you find along the way. I like to keep these organized by theme and have an entire folder dedicated to items that have to do with nature. I also have folders for each of the 4 seasons, and as the year goes by and as I collect more and more journaling supplies, I put them into their category, and this makes it really easy then when the time comes for that season, because all I have to do is reach for that folder and have it readily available on my desk. This way, I have everything that I need right at my fingertips to bring whatever season I'm in to life using these items. Magazines can be a great resource to look for these types of illustrations and ephemera that you can then add into your journal. I like to use Daphne's Diary because there are always beautiful images from nature. So whenever you finish a magazine, grab your scissors and start cutting out anything that reminds you of the natural world. You can also look for washi tapes, which is a decorative type of tape that can add a lot of beauty to your entries. These can be used as an adhesive or just a decorative element, and finding a set that has a lot of nature incorporated into the designs can be an easy way to bring nature and that feel into your journaling. I'm also always looking for season-inspired sticker packs like these ones. This sticker book, which is the Botanist Sticker Anthology, is one of my favorites as well for any type of floral design, different insects, and things you might find in the woodlands or garden. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that if you truly want a sticker for every single season, I highly recommend you check out my Patreon, where I create sticker collections every month for every season. As you collect more and more stickers and ephemera and organize them into different categories of nature, you'll find it easier to incorporate them into your journal entries. This is a great option for beginners who want to get creative but maybe don't feel that they're yet ready to be doing their own illustrations or drawings or adding in their own photos. Just with a few stickers or washi tape or a die cut, you can really bring to life nature on the page. As much as I love stickers and ephemera or illustrations and photos, there's nothing quite like actually collecting an item from nature and using that in your journal. I love to press leaves and flowers when possible from my travels and experiences outside, and then use them directly in my journal. Whether that is creating a little sleeve for them that's going to really keep them in good condition, or taping them right into my journal like I did with these feathers. There are so many ways that you can bring natural elements into your journaling. You can also get creative in other ways by experimenting with pop-ups and more 3D and textured elements that help to bring that feeling of nature in a deeper way. If you want more ideas on these types of interactive journaling elements, definitely check out my interactive journal ideas video next. Whether you nature journal in the truest sense of the word, or have more of a hodgepodge approach like I do, I truly hope that this video will inspire you to get out into nature, to romanticize every season, and to appreciate the beauty of creation, and that everything you see and experience and document will point you to the wonder of it all and to the faith, hope, and love of the one who made it all.